A Melbourne father whose baby daughter was abducted in Europe says a plea to the federal government has been ignored. Jared Massey was in the middle of a desperate race to bring his little girl home. Glenn Connolly has our exclusive report.
Well done. Well done.
16,000 kilometres from home, alone and abandoned.
She means the world to me. She's my daughter. She's the light of my life.
During a family visit to Europe last year, Jared Massey's 11-month-old daughter, Adelaide, was snatched by her French mother, Jared's now ex-partner, Elsa van Garderen.
If I thought for a second that my daughter was going to be taken from me and I was going to be almost deleted from her life, I would never have gotten on an aeroplane with her.
Jared's been forced to relocate to France to find Addie and bring her home.
Well, I'm an Australian and my daughter's an Australian as well, born in Australia. I begged the consulate in Paris for help. I begged the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade for any assistance they could give.
But all he got was a list of lawyers. He says he'd have been given more help if he'd abducted a child rather than had his own snatched, and repeats this plea to Foreign Minister Julie Bishop.
I'd beg her to do anything within her power or discretion to assist us in any way. Sorry, mate.
Jared's now at the mercy of a slow and complicated French legal system. A hearing scheduled for this week has now been pushed back an agonising 4 months.
That court case shouldn't even be going ahead, and the Australian government should have stepped in and insisted that the whole thing be taken back to Australia.
Australia and France are both signatories to the Hague Convention, which clearly states cases like this should be heard in the child's home country.
The judge should have taken one look at this and just said, excuse me, this isn't for us. You know, this needs to be heard in Australia.
Not only did we not get the help that we deserved, we didn't get any help.
The ordeal began when the young family flew to Switzerland last June. Jared left Elsa and Addie to go to Bulgaria, then Scotland. Elsa told Jared she loved him and would see him in France, but she never showed up and cut off all ties. He eventually tracked them down to the French town of Tours, 2 hours from Paris.
Please help. Please help. Jared's stuck in France with no means of financial support, not much emotional support. He doesn't know very many people there. He doesn't speak the language. Let him come home. Let Adelaide come home.
Back home in Melbourne, Jared's close-knit family is feeling the strain.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just not fair.
No. Now any communication he has with Elsa, when she writes to him, she writes in French. It's almost as if she's just trying to shut him out totally from Adelaide's life.
Poor Jared hasn't got a clue what's going on, and they'll maintain that. It's down to him to try and get everything right down to the paperwork translated. And that alone is costing him a fortune.
To make matters worse for Jared, there's a job and a healthy income still waiting for Elsa in Australia.
This woman, my ex-partner, the mother of my child, a French citizen, not an Australian citizen, but an employee of an Australian taxpayer-funded science facility on a pretty good wage, got paid quite a nice chunk of maternity leave pay.
We, the Australian taxpayer, has paid her maternity leave while my son gets nothing.
In the meantime, Jared sees Addie for 2 hours a day, 3 times a week, then every second weekend. Without help, he could be stuck there for years.
I want to be involved in her life in a meaningful way. I want her mother to stay involved in her life in a meaningful way. I just want a fair outcome, and I have no idea how to get it.
Glenn Connolly, 7 News.